What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Overwatch Database, and today we have another emergency episode, I guess you would call it, for you guys today. It's been a crazy couple days, really just over this weekend for the Overwatch League, and we're going to talk about some recent events that have unfolded over the last few days. So as you guys all know, roughly about 2 weeks ago, there was lawsuits and allegations against Activision-Blizzard of sexual harassment, workplace misconduct, all kinds of stuff. We're not going to go into too much details talking about all of that. Now, that itself has had repercussions for the Overwatch League, mostly recently now with sponsors pulling their sponsorships from the Overwatch League. So this started on Thursday, just a few days ago, with State Farm and Coca-Cola pausing their sponsorships with Overwatch League amid the Activision-Blizzard lawsuit controversy. And then following that, on Friday, Pringles and Cheez-It Grooves followed suit and pulled their sponsorships. So, kind of want to talk about this a little bit. It's obviously a very big deal for the Overwatch League in terms of finances, sustainability, just the overall well-being of the league. And also, the serious allegations that were brought up. So I want to start with State Farm and Coca-Cola. So the exact wording was they paused their sponsorships. So it sounds like for the time being, those two may come back. I don't know 100% sure on that. But I know Pringles and Cheez-It Grooves both completely cut ties with the league. So that kind of leaves, Overwatch League. Over the course of this weekend, we've seen, on the games and stuff, there's been no advertisements or anything. And that's obviously, loss of money for the league and whatnot. So kind of wanted to start off with this for you, Connor. Kind of what are your initial thoughts and reactions from it, and what kind of impact do you think this will have on Overwatch League overall?
So I think what these sponsors are doing is completely validated, and the reasoning for it obviously is because of the allegations brought forward. However, it's going to put a lot of stress onto the league in general because of money related issues. Like, for example, this is obviously not regarding like the league specifically or any sort of league, but just like individuals. So throughout the past, there have been like a number of like athletes who have lost sponsorships, like Tiger Woods, Lance Armstrong, Michael Vick, Ray Rice, and a few others like that. And so the thing is, when someone loses a big sponsorship like that, like, let me bring up an example because we're talking about Coca-Cola right now. So in 2010, Wayne Rooney actually lost his sponsorship with Coca-Cola, and his total losses per year was about £600,000. So it was a similar situation. It was because of allegations of cheating on his then pregnant wife, and so Coca-Cola took him out of all their ads for Coke Zero, and they still maintained a relationship with him, just like they're doing with the Overwatch League, where it's kind of paused. But after further events with him, including an on-air foul-mouthed rant, Coca-Cola actually just completely dropped him from their sponsorship. And I think that's what might happen with the league right now is, okay, this is one situation. They're probably going to stick around with that pause, see how things play out, and if further stuff's brought forward, they're most likely going to drop it. That's going to be a lot of revenue lost for the league, and who knows what that's going to cause. The league might go under. They might have to cut a lot of players. They might have to cut coaches. They might have to cut some sort of staff. There's most likely going to be a lot of cuts if more sponsors leave and they do not receive earnings from those sponsors.
So kind of talk about what you said a little bit. So what you're kind of thinking is that with them just pausing the sponsorship right now, that Coca-Cola and State Farm and, a few of these people who have just kind of paused their sponsorships are just going to kind of wait to see and, how the lawsuit plays out and then decide to come back or not.
Well, not just how the lawsuit plays out. This could be like a warning kind of thing. Like, if this sort of thing happens again, or if anything else comes up, we're dropping our sponsorship. They might drop if the state of California wins in this case. However, there might still be a chance that they could stay for further sponsorship and unpause and maintain a relationship with Activision-Blizzard. But it's hard to tell at this point what their moves are going to be because the spokesperson for Coca-Cola hasn't really said much else after saying they're going to be pausing, and he gave no further details or anything like that.
Right. And I kind of like the point you brought up about beforehand at the beginning of you were saying how they're justified in the action they took with pulling their sponsorships. And I want to kind of reiterate that point because I know the situation sucks and a lot of people are really frustrated right now. They feel like this is going to doom the league, all this stuff. But putting your frustrations toward like those companies that are pulling their sponsorships, like you said, it's justified with what's going on. Why would you want to tie to a company that has these kinds of accusations and allegations against them, in a lawsuit pending, basically. So now, granted, from what I know, the Overwatch League side of things isn't really part of the allegations, and that's where this whole thing gets tough, because you have this problem where all these people that work in Overwatch League, from the people who, are in charge of the league that make it run, to the coaches, to the players, the teams, the organizations, all of it is going to be impacted by this. And they have nothing to do with it. And that's just, the ripple effect that unfortunately happens when something like this occurs. And it just kind of sucks to see, we all love Overwatch League. We don't want to see it suffer from something that wasn't even technically its fault. But it is justifiable by the sponsors. And I think you're 100% correct about that. It just sucks. Hopefully, I do believe some of them will come back. First of all, let me just say that. Like, I do believe some of them will come back. There are some that will cut ties completely, and that's understandable. But I do believe some will come back. So obviously, moving forward, Overwatch League is going to have to find, new sponsors, I think, because I don't think having no sponsors, they'll be able to stay afloat. So obviously, they're going to have to try to find new ones. Going forward, while this is going on, Connor, do you think they'll be able to find them?
I don't think, given the current state of everything right now, they would be able to find any new sponsors. And most likely, if they were to connect with some potential sponsors, they would probably set up deals for the future and see how the lawsuit were to play out, and keep have a we'll call you back kind of thing going on with them.
Yeah.
Something like that is what I would say.
Yeah, so moving forward, do you feel like this is something that will cause Overwatch League to fold, or do you think they'll find a way to sustain and kind of stay financially afloat and get out of it?
That's actually hard to tell, because
it is from this point.
Yeah, because I'm not sure how much money they're actually receiving from sponsors, how much they're actually using of that for the league, if they're using just Activision revenue for it through, all their games like Call of Duty, Hearthstone, Overwatch, everything like that. So it's really hard to say what revenue is going towards that. I feel like if California were to win in this case and a lot of sponsors drop, or the big ones drop from them, it could cause the league to fold, and hopefully that doesn't happen, and they can hopefully find some other form of revenue or some other sponsors that might not bring in as much money but could still keep the league afloat for the time being.
Yeah, I kind of see this going two ways. So the first way is maybe this is kind of, I don't really feel like this is best case. Well, it probably is best case scenario, but I also feel like it's also probably the most realistic way it will go. I think for the time being, these companies that have paused their sponsorships will stay that way. But I kind of get the feeling that given a little bit of time, they'll come back. Because let's be honest, I don't really think, State Farm and Coca-Cola and these companies that sponsor the Overwatch League, just to be honest, I don't think they care about, the allegations so much as just being tied to them, being tied to something that has these allegations against them. So I kind of feel like eventually, and then, that doesn't make it okay, obviously. That's probably, I'm guessing, So I think given a little bit of time, I think that they'll probably come back and it will be all right. Or the other way I see it going is they don't. And then, Activision-Blizzard has two choices at that point. They can either funnel the league money, from other properties, other games, whatever. They can funnel it money to keep it afloat till hopefully sometime down the road they can figure out a way to kind of, prop itself back up on its own, or they can just let it fold and that'll be that. So, and if it comes down to that, I don't really believe for a second Activision-Blizzard will funnel it money to keep it alive. So hopefully it doesn't come to that point, because I don't think they would.
And if you guys have not read into the lawsuit or read the actual 29 pages of it, what I'm going to read here is just a small section of it, just so you can have some background information on what's going on in the company. We will link this down in the description so you can go ahead and read the whole thing if you're actually into reading about it. So starting in the introduction section, Section 4, starting on line 2, it states, like the executive ranks, women across the company are assigned to lower paid and lower opportunity levels. Female employees receive lower starting pay and also earn less than male employees for substantially similar work. Defendants promote women more slowly and terminate them more quickly than their male counterparts. Faced with such adverse terms and conditions of employment, many women have been forced to leave the company. Defendants have also fostered a pervasive frat boy workplace culture that continues to thrive. In the office, women are subjected to cube crawls, in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office and often engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees. Male employees proudly come into work hungover, play video games for long periods of time during work while delegating their responsibilities to female employees, engage in banter about their sexual encounters, talk openly about female bodies, and joke about rape. Unsurprisingly, defendants' frat boy culture is a breeding ground for harassment and discrimination against women. Female employees are subject to constant sexual harassment, including having to continually fend off unwanted sexual comments and advances by their male co-workers and supervisors, and being groped at the cube crawls and other company events. High-ranking executives and creators engaged in blatant sexual harassment without repercussions. In a particularly tragic example, a female employee committed suicide during a business trip with a male supervisor who brought butt plugs and lubricant with him on the trip. Defendants continuously condone the quid pro quo and hostile work environment. The message is not lost on their employees.
Yeah, so obviously some very terrible stuff and very serious stuff. I mean, a woman even lost her life. You know, it's really tragic, to be honest, is I think the word that really comes to my mind. And so it's definitely understandable with everything that's going on. You know, these companies pulling their sponsorships because of this. Just hopefully it doesn't have super long-term effect on the Overwatch League and the people that are involved with Overwatch League that had nothing to do with this. But unfortunately, that is just the way things work sometimes. So I think in kind of summary with everything that's happened, I don't believe, for people who, don't know, I don't believe Overwatch League will fold, and I don't believe it will go under because of this. But it's definitely going to take a lot to kind of right the ship and get it going again. I mean, the Overwatch League has been fantastic this year. The production has been better, I think, is really the main thing that comes to my mind. And, the format has been better this year. So it really feels like Overwatch League itself is going in a really positive direction. And hopefully just this doesn't derail it to the point of it completely collapsing. I don't believe it will, knowing everything we know now, but obviously it will be something that will have to play out over the coming many, many months. So yeah, I think that's about it. Just wanted to make this video to get a little bit of information out there for people that don't know or were looking somewhere to get more information about, some of the allegations and, what sponsors pulled them, their sponsorships and all that. So we hope this video was informative and helpful for you guys. Let us know down in the comments if you want us to make more videos like this. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. You can hit the bell icon for notifications. And just like Connor said, we will have a link down in the description if you want to read more about the lawsuit. And as always, you can check out this video as well as others on Apple Podcasts or our website, overwatchdatabase.com. Both of those are also down in the description. And we'll see you guys later this week with our normal weekly recap and power rankings. Thanks for watching.